Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Domo's Creations and More, where you can find me here on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I hope today finds you well. Today, it's another episode of the process video for my November design team project for Junk with Steph on Etsy, where I'm using her Enjoy Today kit. Actually, I'm using two kits, the 15-page junk journal kit and also the ephemera kit, which is a 10-page add-on JJ kit that is called Enjoy Today. So in this process video, I'm going to show you how I put together, or my thought process on putting together signatures. For those that don't know, the signatures are the little booklets. See the little booklets that are going to go inside of the journal. For this project, I decided to make one journal with 3 signatures, 3 little booklets inside. I already chose 2 of them. They're semi-ready to go in the journal. There's other steps I need to do, but this video is going to be about how to choose them, or my thought process behind it. So as you can see, there was 15 pages of the junk journal kit, the pages like this. Since I'm going to have 3 signatures, 3 little booklets, right, I had to divide that up into 3. So that gave me 5 pages each. Now, from those 15 pages, I had to get 3 signatures as well as a front cover. So this, I chose 1 page for my front and back cover, which I will put in another video how I'm going to do that. So now I have 14 pages left. I had to choose the covers for the 3 little booklets, or the 3 signatures, which I did. So 15 minus 1 for the front and back cover, that left me 14. Minus 3, that left me, what, 11? Right? So I have like a set amount, or amount that I like to do in each of the little booklets, the signatures. And for me, that amount is 10 pages, including the front and the back cover, right? So what I did was I took the pages and I divided them by 3. Okay, you know, just kind of dispersed them around. So usually that works out to 5 printed pages and then 5 extra pages. You can choose to put in book pages. You can choose to put in just more paper to journal in. That decision will be yours. In my case, what I want in this journal is lots and lots of space to journal. So for me and my personal preference, I added more of this vintage paper. Okay, so I added 5 of the printed and 5 of the vintage paper. Now, because I got 3 right for each of the covers, what I did was, in this signature, is that I printed one of these, right? So I can put them in there so that I could have printed, and then my regular page, because that's what I chose, and then print it, you know, kind of like that. You don't have to put it in this manner. This is the way I like to do mine. You can do all printed and then all the papers, or book pages, doilies, you know, crossword puzzles, whatever it is that you want to stick in here, you're more than welcome to do. But this is my process. I do 5 printed and 5 of the paper in this thing. So if I was missing printed pages, I made sure I included the ones from these covers, right? And I just made sure that whichever one I chose was in each one. Now, I love butterflies, so I chose to print more of these, and each of the signatures had the butterfly. So then, because I like for mine to be printed and then solid, printed and solid, especially in this case, I put them together. Now, when you put together your pages for your signatures, you have to be vigilant. You have to be checking the direction of the scripts, right? Because look, this is the right way. But guess what? If I put it, it's backwards, right? How do I know, and how do I make this step? Because I have done it many times and continue to do it, because in your hurry or in your process, you forget to check the little things. So I'm going to check just one more last time that they're in the right orientation. So that's my first one, right? And this is how I do it. I just kind of put it back in my paper, and then I check, like, since this one's collaged, sometimes the little pieces are turned or whatever, but like the ones that stick out very well, see how this Y is here? So I know it is, the ones that are more prominent, I should say, this Y sticks out to me and it's the correct way. And remember, I told you I had printed out more of the butterfly because I love them. I'm looking at the script. Let me see here. See, like, this is a perfect example of what I was telling you. Look at this graphic. Look at the N here. It's correct, right? But then look at this one. It's flipped over the other way. So here you could flip it this way and have it here, but then look at this script. See how the orientation's this way. So, it's personal preference. What sticks out to you? What do you prefer to be up or down? Sometimes you have to look at your pages in that regard. Let me see here. Not like that. So I want to double check that I have 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is there a magic number for your signature? No, there isn't. The reason I choose 10 is because I know that in the cover that I will be making, if I make my signatures with this type of paper, it stays flat. It's not frilly. Like if I do avocado dyed paper or coffee dyed paper, it has more volume because it's not as flat. So you would end up with a thicker signature. I know that the cover that I'm doing is able to accommodate the 3 books, the 3 signatures with this type of paper because it is flat. Also keep in mind that we have not embellished yet. We need tags, we need pockets, we need belly bands, trims, whatever it is that you're going to decorate your book with. So keep that in mind when you're making a journal. You need to make sure that whatever cover you're putting on it will accommodate all the papers, right? And make sure that if you're going to put 3, it's going to accommodate them plus the decorations. So since I've done this type of cover before and I've used this type of paper before, I know that it will accommodate it and still have room to grow. Now all I'm going to do is I fold these papers in half. And I'm putting them off to the side. Now I have to be extra careful, extra gentle, because remember I told you that this is vintage paper. That means that this tea-dyed color that you see naturally occurred. Meaning when you have vintage papers or papers that have turned on themselves, it's usually drier than regular paper. And you have to be careful because if you're very rough with them, they will crack. So I'm being extra careful. Notice I am not using my bone folder. I'm using my finger and I'm doing very light pressure for that reason. And those are all just little tips and tricks that you will learn as you play around with your paper. The same thing as if you're going to put book pages in here, if you're going to put vellum in here, all that you'll learn as you go and you get a feel of your paper, how much you can bend, how much your journal cover can hold, which papers you prefer over others. There's a lot of indefinite answers. It's not black and white answer. If you ask me, Tama, can I use this? I'm going to say, depends. What are you using it for? How are you going to put it? Because it's not a definite answer. It all varies in the purpose, in what you're going to be using. it for, how you're going to use it, what tools are you going to use with it. I mean, there's an indefinite answer. So this is my cover, and now I'm just going to take these and put them in here. Now, people have asked me, now I'm flipping it over. I'm going to do one more last look this way because of the white, to make sure that it's oriented, because I was folding it and throwing them over here, so I might have flipped them, and I think that's what happened. So again, as I'm placing them in here, I am looking at the orientation. I don't want it that way, so it's this way. So I double, triple, quadruple check, and even like that, once I sew in my signatures, I tend to see, okay, that like that one like that, that sometimes I still put them in backwards. Okay, now people have asked me, why don't you just take the whole stack, fold it in half, and squash it down? Well, I don't get the nice crease that I do here. See how all of them are nice and neat? Also, by doing it individually, you get a defined V, a defined fold. If I take all the papers and I fold them, you know, I get them and I go like this, then what I will not get is this V. I will get a U, and I do not want a U, I want a V. Reason being is because the next step is, where did I put my paper cutter? Right there. Because I'm going to put this into a book, right? When you get a book, on the edges, you don't see this. This is my first page and that is my last page. As you stack them in here, it feathers up. It takes them that way. So I'm going to take my paper cutter. Let's see if I can zoom in here. There we go. See how this is my first page, and look at the last page. It feathers because you stack them inside of each other. It stares, it fans out that way. So I'm going to take my paper cutter and put it up against the first page and trim off all the edge, because when you look at a book, right, that's what happens. All the book pages are nice and even, and that's what I want. So I'm going to stack them, move them, pounce them, put them on my table so that they could accommodate all together, especially the sides, because they're for the most part they're going to be all together and they're flush. So now I only have to worry about this edge. So then how I do it is I put it on my paper cutter. There's people that will take a ruler and an X-Acto knife and cut it off. I tried that and I did not like that. I prefer using my paper cutter. So since I am familiar with my paper cutter, I'm going to take, let me see if I can zoom you in. Let's see. Okay, let me move you over. Perfect. Because I want you to see what I'm going to do. Now, I'm familiar with my paper cutter, so pay attention to where my blade, well, you can't see it, but let me see. My blade's right there. What I'm going to do is put that blade right at the edge of this paper right here. And because I'm familiar with my paper cutter and I'm comfortable with it, I'm able to do it. It takes a little bit to get used to it. So I lined it up. Whoa, right here, with the edge right here, and then I'm just going to be moving it forward and backward to trim off that excess, the extra. Now I'm going to zoom you back out, and I like to tell you with time, for those that are motion sickness prone like myself, I know what kind of a whirlwind it will take you on. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to warn you, sometimes this screeches, but hey, that's what happens with my paper cutter. So I'm going to push it down and I'm going to be moving it up and down, and you'll see the little paper kind of curl up and down, and that's okay. That's what I want. That's what happens. See the screeching? I warned you. I think I got it all the way through. Let me double check. I'm going to give it one more pass. Okay. One little edge didn't come off. Like this little edge right here. So I'll just open it up and take my scissors and cut that little piece that stayed on there. Okay. And sorry, every time I go in and out, I have to adjust the camera. So now, as you can see, it's nice and flush. Right here, top, and on the side. So the next thing I do is I repeat that process, and I'm not going to take you with me because of the screeching, because of all that. Again, I'm going to, tap them down, make sure that the top and the bottom are flush, and really focus on the side right here, because look at all this extra, right? So I'll take the first page as a guide, put my paper cutter blade right there, and remove that, which will end up looking like this. Remove that off of these. The next step that I like to do, because I prefer, sorry I didn't click the thing again, is I'm going to go in and round my corners. Why? Because I prefer rounded corners. Do you have to round your corners? Absolutely not. It is a personal preference of mine. I like the rounded corners. I think it looks a little bit more professional. I like that when I'm flipping the pages, they don't poke me. Like I said, oops, I think I grabbed too many. Okay. And so what I do is I go all the way through to the middle. And I'm going to do this one. And I usually try to grab 2 pages at a time. If I have time, maybe I'll grab 1 at a time. But I do wait until the middle of the signature, and I'll let you know why in a second when I get there. But do you have to round the corners? No. Like I said, it's personal preference. People have asked me what this is. This is from Creative Memories. From what I hear, they no longer in business. But I got this, believe it or not, back in 2005. And it has not failed me yet. I love it. It stays sharp. I've never had to worry about that. Now, I wait. I get to the middle of the signature, and then I flip it over. Why? I think it lays better. I think it lays better. Again, every time I flip it, every time I move it, I hit it on my table because I want everything to be nice and flush. See right here how all the rounded corners are nice and together. There's no paper sticking out. That's what I want. I have found that if I go to the middle of the signature, turn it around, and then start punching them, they sit a little better rather than punching them from the other side. Why? I don't know. And so I just kind of stuck with this theory. So I will continue to do this. I'll do those off camera. So that you don't have to see me punch paper, cut them out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. No question is dumb. No question is unnecessary. Especially, any question is valid, if and when it's related to crafting. Because I have got some, how should I say it in a polite way, some smart people that have asked me inappropriate questions, and I will take them off of the comment section. So yes, if it's related to crafting, ask me the questions, like, what was this, where is it? Like I said, I hear that the company is no longer making things. It's Creative Moments page rounder, but you can find something similar. Thelma, I want to round the corners and I don't have the punch. Is there a way to do it? Yes, you take your scissors and you manually round your corners. Just take out the corner. You can also, if you want to make it nice and uniform, take something that's round, just because I don't have anything else, a top or whatever. You would put it down on your paper, like this, right? On your corners, you put it down. See how you can see the corner will be taken out. So then you take a pencil, you round it, you know, you trace it, I should say. You trace it around, and this is not solid. And then you would take out the corner manually. And then you would use this one for the next page and use it as a template, and so on and so forth. So if you have any questions, leave them for me in the description box. I am more than happy to answer you. The following process video will be me, well, by the time I come back, I am going to have all these done the same way, cut up, take the corners off, trim the sides, and then we will be working on the cover. We will be working on the cover next. That's what the next video is, but I'll do these two off camera. Again, what I'm going to do is trim off the axis the way I showed you in this video with my paper cutter. Then I'm going to be trimming the corners. And then, since this is ready already and I don't want them to be going everywhere, I'm going to paper clip them. Notice that I leave this off. The reason I do that is because these ends right here, sometimes they're rough and then they'll scratch the paper. So if I put a paper clip, I will leave them like that so that I don't have any markings on my paper. So next time we will be working on the journal cover. I hope that you join me. I hope that you do not stay with any doubts or any questions. Please ask me down below. I will answer you if it is craft related question. Had to throw that out there. I will answer your questions, and stay tuned to my channel for the next process video of how I do my covers. Bye guys. Happy crafting.